evil targeted video.
As a mind strength coach, people ask me all the time, how do you get motivated? How do you push through a tough morning? What's your morning routine? And it's simple. 2 words. Old Crimson Legendary Brew, powered by Thomas Hammer.
That's 9 words.
If you let it be. Then I get this one. Coach, what if I'm still not motivated? Simple. Drink more coffee.
From across the state to the hills of the Palouse, Old Crimson forges ahead, undeterred, underestimated. Created by Cougs for Cougs. Old Crimson, when the sports world evolves at a pace like never before. You may be asking, how do we help our teams in these uncharted times? It's simple. Drink more beer. Old Crimson Legendary Lager. Proceeds benefit Cougar Collective. Do your part.
If you can't be in Pullman, the next best place to be is the Marco Polo Bar and Grill. Sink your teeth into our world-famous pressure-cooked chicken. Crispy on the outside, juicy on the inside, and seasoned to perfection. Known for our 15 big screens, 100% dedicated to Cougar athletics on game day. At Marco Polo, you can catch every game and soak in the crimson and gray vibes every night of the week. We're creating an experience that will make you feel like you're on the Palouse. Marco Polo Bar and Grill. Go Cougs!
To Cougar Nation. This past weekend, beneath the brilliant skies and rolling wheat fields of the Palouse, another generation of Cougs walked across that stage for the final time as students of Washington State University. And though diplomas were handed out and tassels turned, something far greater was carried away from Pullman that day. A home. To the graduates of Washington State, General Moore wishes you congratulations not merely for surviving lectures, exams, and sleepless nights, but for becoming part of something that will stay with you long after the last boxes are packed and the drive out of town begins. For one day, perhaps sooner than you realize, you will find yourself missing this place in ways difficult to explain to those who have never stood among us. You will miss the sight of snow falling quietly over campus. You will miss late nights with friends that somehow turned into lifelong memories. You will miss the smell of fall Saturdays and hearing the fight song echo through Martin Stadium. You will miss the feeling of belonging to a little town in eastern Washington that somehow became part of your identity forever. And that is because Pullman does not simply educate people. It changes them. Many of you arrived uncertain of who you were meant to become. Yet somewhere between the long winters, the victories, the heartbreaks, the classrooms, the friendships, and the endless crimson sunsets over the Palouse, you became family. So as you leave these grounds and march toward careers, marriages, children, triumphs, and hardships still waiting beyond the horizon, remember this. No matter how far you travel, no matter how many years pass, no matter where life plants your boots, you will always have a home in Pullman. You will always be welcomed back here. Because being a Coug was never just 4 years, it is forever. Sincerely, General Kirby Moore.
Who do you want to buy what? Who do you want to vote how? Who do you want ruining a family gathering defending you? Look, as long as it's not evil, Hurley Media Group will help you persuade whoever you want to do pretty much whatever you want. Hurley Media Group engineers video ads that cut through the noise, then we target your customer, your voter, or your future mother-in-law, your dog walker, whoever, wherever they scroll, wherever they stream, and wherever they watch. Hurley Media Group, totally not evil, targeted video.
As a mind strength coach, people ask me all the time, how do you get motivated? How do you push through a tough morning? What's your morning routine? And it's simple. 2 words. Old Crimson Legendary Brew, powered by Thomas Hammer.
That's 9 words.
If you let it be. Then I get this one. Coach, what if I'm still not motivated? Simple. Drink more coffee.
From across the state to the hills of the Palouse, Old Crimson forges ahead, undeterred, underestimated. Created by Cougs for Cougs. Old Crimson, when the sports world evolves at a pace like never before. You may be asking, how do we help our teams in these uncharted times? It's simple. Drink more beer. Old Crimson Legendary Lager. Proceeds benefit Cougar Collective. Do your part.
If you can't be in Pullman, the next best place to be is the Marco Polo Bar and Grill. Sink your teeth into our world-famous pressure-cooked chicken. Crispy on the outside, juicy on the inside, and seasoned to perfection. Known for our 15 big screens, 100% dedicated to Cougar athletics on game day. At Marco Polo, you can catch every game and soak in the crimson and gray vibes every night of the week. We're creating an experience that will make you feel like you're on the Palouse. Marco Polo Bar and Grill. Go Cougs!
All right, it's time.
It is. We're here.
We're
We
here.
did it.
We're barely skin of my teeth. I was
You were
in,
stressing there.
I was in Chelan this morning. I had a couple meetings in Chelan.
You
and
were
then
still
I
on Chelan
drove
side.
in, and then I kind of came in here skidding sideways. And you know, I'll tell you, the year started off really slow for me.
It's picking up now.
It's like too much. Like, here's the thing: I'm not going to complain about being too busy.
Right.
I think that's like
There's good busy and there's bad busy.
yeah. This is good busy.
Good busy is
like
good. Yeah.
The like I've got too many proposals to get out the door and all that stuff to follow up with. So it's just been like you know, you get up and you start going and you look at the clock and it's midnight and you're like, oh god, I got to get to bed.
Just like at 5:25, Brian decided like, oh, I probably should get the collective podcast put together. Hey, it's Wednesday. It's May 13th. This is Collectively Crimson, and we will always start with the message, which is if you're not a member of the 1890 Club.
What is up with that?
What is up with that? If you want to join the Cougar Collective and help out your student athletes there at Washington State University, it's linked up in the description box below. We got a cool show.
We got a great show today. I'm really excited for both of our guests for different reasons today.
Yeah. We got Kaden Beatty joining us. I actually think he's in our virtual green room as we speak right now.
He's tapping his toes going, come on,
let's go, guys. Because he's back. I think he's back in his home state. Let's get him on right now.
All right.
Because he's been waiting. He's been diligently and patiently waiting. Kaden, welcome to Collectively Crimson. Thanks for being here.
What's up? Thank you guys so much for having me. And
We
y'all are all
appreciate it.
good. I'm over here sitting fine. So we're good.
Are you back home in Virginia right now?
Yes, sir. Yep, Virginia Beach.
Okay, so I just did a road trip through Virginia a couple weeks ago. I made it up to Lynchburg.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yep.
it was very nice. Very nice. People were wonderful.
Yep. The southern spirit there.
That's right. There's nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong with that.
So how long do you have off? Because you guys are only home for a couple weeks, right?
Yeah, so we're only home till I go back May 30th. So just a few weeks here.
Okay.
Okay. So we're gonna try something a little different here on Collectively Crimson. Normally we bring when we got student athletes on, we spend a lot of time talking about Well, the athlete, but we're going to talk more about the student and the human. So we got a whole new line of questioning. And Kaden Beatty, you're going to be our guinea pig for this. You ready for this?
And I want to just preface this with Kaden. I was so impressed with you when we were in Pullman and we were interviewing all the student athletes, and you had just lost your voice in the spring game. It's nice to actually hear your voice. Congratulations on getting that back.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
But, you were so good and comfortable on camera. I was like, if we're going to try this, we got to try it with one of these kids who's
a natural.
A natural.
And
so you were picked, my friend.
He was. That's true. We did actually had a private conversation about this, and he actually said, I tell you, the guy we got to try this on is Kaden Beatty. That's
exactly.
True.
I appreciate that.
All right.
I'm excited.
Okay,
Let's go.
We're gonna see. I mean, this could turn out to be an unadulterated disaster. We don't know, Kaden, but we're gonna have fun all the same. Ready?
We've had him before. Yep. We'll have him again.
Here's your first question. Who is the most influential person in your life to date?
Wow. Yeah. So I would have to go with my dad, 100%.
Okay. Tell us about your dad a little bit. Tell us about him.
Yep. So my dad is the father of 4 boys, and he came from a hard life. He's from inner city Baltimore. He was living on his own at 16 years old. And my mom was actually the only reason he graduated high school, because he had a job and he wasn't really going to school.
Hold on,
and so
second,
thankfully,
guys. Hold on just a second. I screwed something up.
Yeah, he did.
I'm bouncing out of there. Keep going, guys.
All right, go ahead. We're talking about your dad. Please go ahead.
Yep. So he was living on his own for at 16 for a little bit, and then my mom was helping him with his schoolwork, and so he graduated, thankfully. And they're high school sweethearts, so they ended up getting married at 20 and 21, and they had my oldest brother. And so he really came from nothing. He was living in a one-room apartment with his mom and his 4 siblings, and so and he really just raised my brothers and I in a great situation. Moved down here to Virginia Beach, and he's worked for the same company for 35 years. And he's just showed me what hard work is, and he showed me how to be a dad, a loving dad who's driven and really just shows us how to be a man. So I can't thank him enough. And he's my rock, and I love him. So.
See, this is why we don't ask the X's and O's question. This is why you ask the real "Who are you?" questions.
That's great, man.
You know?
That's great.
Great
so,
answer,
we're going to see your dad out in Pullman this fall, right?
Oh, you'll see him, you'll hear him. Trust me, he's the
That's
loudest
cool. He
guy.
needs to come on by the collective RV and grab a couple of old Crimson Lagers with us, okay?
Awesome. Yeah, he definitely
All
will.
right. Here's your next one. If you could have dinner with anybody, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Ooh.
I'm going to pick an alive person here, and I'd say
Okay.
it's my role model. And the reason I wear number 52, really, Ray Lewis. I'm a big Ravens fan.
Okay.
My whole family is from Baltimore, and so he's been somebody that I've looked up to since I was 5 years old. Had his poster on my wall, and just he's that guy that just brings the fire and the passion in the game that I wish to bring as well, and the leadership as well. So definitely.
Okay, so now I knew you were a Virginia kid. I didn't know it was Virginia by way of Baltimore. Did you live there at all growing up,
So,
or was it
I
just
was the
home for
youngest.
your family?
Yep. So I was the youngest. My whole family lived there, but I was born there, and I lived until about 1, and then. Sorry, y'all, if y'all could hear that.
You're fine.
That's all right.
Don't
I
worry.
have 2
This-
German Shepherds, and they're
That's
going
awesome.
crazy. I think some people are just getting home, but yeah, from Baltimore, and really I wouldn't claim that. I claim Virginia Beach because I grew up here,
Okay.
but my whole family is from Baltimore and still lives there.
So you guys are Ravens fans.
Oh yeah, big Ravens fans.
Okay. All right. That's cool. All right. Here's your next one. Ready? Kaden Beatty has an irrational fear of what?
Ooh,
You like that?
These are great questions.
And-
What do I do
and-
for a living?
being a beach boy, this is gonna hurt
Yeah.
a lot of people, but the ocean.
Okay.
The ocean is
Explain
unknown.
why.
Really?
What's got
Yeah.
you spooked about it? That's cool. You're not the first person to tell me that.
Yeah, so we barely searched the entirety of the ocean. There's so much stuff that we don't know is out there. So I just think and especially being stranded or something like that, like out in the middle of the ocean. I love fishing, especially deep sea fishing. So it's crazy I say this, but just being out there, that's not my element. I'd rather be on
Now-
land. So
Have you gone deep sea fishing in Washington yet? Like, have you gone and caught a lingcod? Because I think if you catch a lingcod, you will have an irrational fear of the ocean for the rest of your life.
Have you done this?
Oh yeah, it's terrifying. They're
I would-
disgusting.
I would love to, but I haven't been able to yet. No.
All right. Well, listen, for anyone out there watching here on Collectively Crimson wants to take Kaden Beatty on a fishing trip,
Oh, that would be
you know how to
amazing.
get a hold of him. Yeah.
I would love
All
to.
right. Okay. So here's another one for you. You get to put on a music festival.
Ooh.
Okay. You get to call it whatever you want to call it. So give us the name of your music festival and give us like 3 or 4 bands you for sure are having play your music festival.
Oh, geez. Okay, here we go. So I'm extremely diverse in my music taste. Like
Love it.
I love rap. I love rock. I love old rap, like 90s.
Okay.
The new rap as well, and then I love country too. So I'm like all over the board. But
That's cool.
I'd probably say for the name, we'll go with I'm trying to think of something that pertains to me because I'm putting this on. I just don't want to do like Rock Fest or like something.
Yeah. Beatty Palooza. We could do something like a Beatty Palooza.
Let's start with artists.
Yeah.
Let's start with artists, and we can back into a name
Yeah.
here.
What do we got?
Yeah, so artists, so they have to be living today. Okay.
Well,
that
it works best that way. It does
Okay, so
work
we're
best
Honestly, we're
that
living
way.
in fantasy land, so it's all good, man. Yeah.
I mean, if you want to put Elvis on the program, go ahead.
Okay,
but
okay,
it's-
we'll do-
but his
we'll do
booking
today.
is going to be difficult.
We'll do today. All right, so first and foremost, I'm gonna have to go with Zach Bryan on there. I like Zach Bryan, and need a little country, but he's also into like the hip hop too here and there. So like, he could be still fitting in with the rest of the group here. Because then I'm gonna have to go with the Migos. They're a rap group and they're exciting.
Thank you for explaining that, following up
Yeah.
with an explanation, because I was just going to pretend and be cool. But
Yeah.
thank you. I appreciate
Yep,
that.
yep,
That makes
they're a
2
rap
of us.
group. And then
Okay.
I'll probably have to go with. I would have to probably go with Drake, another rap guy. I know the old heads listening. Sorry, y'all. Won't
That's
be-
fine. Hey,
won't be
man,
loving
this is your music
You just call us
festival.
old heads?
No, this
I've
is
been
your
called
music.
a lot of things by a lot of
Come
people.
on, man. It's mature.
And then
Mature, not old. Mature.
yeah, the mature guys.
Thank you.
And then I'd have to probably go with. This is gonna be a crazy switch up, but Coldplay. They're incredible.
Okay.
Coldplay.
No,
Coldplay.
I like it because the kid says he's got this diverse ear in music, and then you take a look at what he's put together on his list, and it's a very diverse music festival. I think he practices what he preaches.
We got room for everyone to come, every genre, and we'll have an amazing festival because we'll get everyone together and it'll be a time.
Our old heads welcome.
Yeah, of
Our
course,
old
of
heads
course.
welcome.
Always.
Do we get a senior citizen discount on the way
Hey,
in?
hold on. Don't act like the old heads don't get down as well. So
Hey, listen, we'll get there as soon as we have dinner at 4:30 at Old Country Buffet first, okay? Before we head
That
on
sounds
over
good.
to the festival. All right, now here we go. All right. You mentioned a fear of the ocean. This is one I'm always interested in. If you could go to space, would you do it, and why or why not?
no, I wouldn't personally because honestly,
Yeah,
I
I
was
want to hear the
telling
because.
my brother this the other day. He's a big traveler and stuff everywhere, and I love having the simple life, being here, maybe having a ranch one day, raising beautiful children, and kind of like how Pullman is, more simple, laid back, Palouse lifestyle, fun friends, fun family that are loving, and yeah, I have no desire to go back because I'm scared, or go out to space because I'm scared I would maybe not come back. So.
These are all well thought out answers. Like,
They
these
are
aren't-
well thought
yeah,
out
like,
answers.
He's
Yes.
mindful. He gives a little
He is
pause before
mindful.
he goes.
I'm-
And then he
yeah.
gives
I
you an
appreciate
answer.
that.
All right, you ready for the next one? You have your last meal. This is your last meal. What are you going to have for what is the absolute best meal you're going to have for your last meal? What is it?
Yeah, for me, that's easy. Live crabs. Well, then steamed, and then with the Old
Yeah.
Bay, the Maryland specialty.
Okay, so he's talking East Coast crabs.
Oh yeah, a whole couple bushels of crabs. I'm with a big thing of butter. I'm good.
Have you had like Dungeness
Have you had
crab, or have you
Dungeness
even
yet,
made
man?
it to the West Side in the time you've been in Pullman?
Yeah, so I've made it to the West Side one time, but I've had Dungeness crab. Isn't it served? I was served cold, and
Serve it cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was actually with one of our former D tackles, Bryson Lamb. He's the one that showed me
Okay.
Yeah.
Dungeness crab, and I tried it, and I was like, why am I eating crab cold? Like, what are y'all doing?
I would agree
So-
with that too. Some people like it that way, but like but you're a soft shell East Coast kind of guy, huh?
Oh, not soft shells, but
Okay, got it.
No.
Nope.
It's that East Coast crab. Was it blue crab out there?
Blue crab.
Blue crab. Yeah, it's good. It's good eating, man.
Oh,
I
it's
used to have
beautiful.
to spend a bunch of time in Massachusetts, and that's what they're eating out there all the time. It's good.
Well, anytime Baltimore gets mentioned, I have to bring up that my wife Cassie and I were going from New York to we were going from DC to New York, and we had this great Uber driver, and he had this thick Baltimore accent, and Cassie is a insane fan of the show The Wire that was on HBO like 20 years ago,
yeah.
maybe 30 now.
Where is this going?
Literally, Cassie paid him like $100 to just take us around inner city Baltimore to see all the
Just
shooting
give you a tour. Just
locations.
give you a tour.
Yes, it
Oh
was so
my
much
goodness.
fun. I was like, I don't feel safe right now, Cass, but it was a lot of fun.
All right. I got a
It's
couple more
dangerous,
questions, and then we're going to let him go because he's spending time with family. All right. Here's another one. A skill set that you don't have right now, but you would love to be able to learn to do in the near future. So whether that's, playing an instrument, become an artist, or any other skill set that you're like, God, I would really like to learn how to do that someday.
Cook.
Okay.
I would really love to be like but like I know how to cook, of course. I know how to cook some eggs and chicken and some asparagus. That's
Right.
about it. But I want to cook like some gourmet meals where I'm like impressing my wife. It's a good.
Yeah.
Instead of
Smart man.
we don't need to go out. Like I got it. Let me take care of it. Put on the
right.
apron and get to work. So yeah.
Now, before
Love
you
it.
go, one last thing. Now, you've got a really good idea for an NIL sponsorship if we can get a hold of anybody it's Applebee's, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so like first of all, let's talk about the genesis of this because you've been interning for Nick Garner, our friend Nick Garner.
Okay.
Is that accurate? Do I have that right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, so and you and you've got a ritual of going to Applebee's. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, so Linus Zunk and Nylan Brown, two of like my closest friends on the team, every Saturday night during spring and honestly most of the winter workouts, we would go really late to Applebee's, not too like 9 p.m. and we'd stay there till like closing time, and we're just getting a ton of food and just having a good time
They
every
got like
single
a
Saturday night.
2-for-1 entree, right?
Yep, 2 for 1, and it's like a bunch of so it's the 2 entrees. You get 2 salads and like another appetizer as well. So
I love
Well, you
that
guys are lifting during that time, right? So you're like hungry as a horse every day, aren't you?
100%. Yep, I got to keep
Yeah.
my weight up.
Right.
You guys set up a special hoping it'll be like, cheap date food because it'll be 2 entrees for 2
Yeah, and
people.
instead you get
Instead, these guys are coming through
the
and
big
just
old hosses coming
hammering
in
it down.
because they've been hitting iron all day.
So I know Nick Garner's been working his tail off, making phone calls, trying to find some regional marketing person at Applebee's. Because
Applebee's, let's go. What's
needs
up with
to
that?
happen.
Let's go.
If there's anybody
go.
watching who's in marketing who knows somebody at Applebee's, this needs to happen because I would like to just have a roundtable conversation over 2 entrees for the price of
Applebee's
one.
needs to come up with the old 96er.
What's that?
It's like that 96-ounce steak that you eat for free if you can finish it, and we send Kaden and a couple of the other boys over there.
Oh,
Yeah.
Still like a
That's
Chinese
easy.
You ever
buffet
seen the
over
We
movie
there?
got that
The Great
easy.
Outdoors? John Candy, Dan Aykroyd, the old 96er?
Listen, old head, I'm not as old as you, all right? So, yeah.
Man. All right.
Caden, we'll let you get back to it, man.
Thanks,
Enjoy
brother.
time at home, and thanks for being with us.
Go
we really
Cougs.
appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much. Go Cougs. Have a good one.
Go Cougs.
Hey, did you like those questions?
Those are great questions.
See, this was your idea, though. It was your idea, and then I was like, dude, I like where you're going with this.
It was my idea, but I also had zero follow through. It was
That's,
just
well,
like
that's you typically, but that's where I come in. I'm the follow through.
I appreciate that.
How did we remember how we did this podcast for a while? It was literally I would pester you on the phone like, "Hey, dude, we need to do another podcast. We need to do it." And then it was finally, and we should just, our executive producer Cassie Hurley.
Yes.
Who basically says, no, we're going to start scheduling this on our. And the truth is, let's give a shout out to Cassie, too, because candidly, this show would not exist, nor would it even get anywhere close to being off the ground if it was not for her every week.
Cassie, see, here's the best part. People call Cassie back. They don't call me back. They call Cassie back, and she schedules all the guests. She gets everything together.
She gets everything we just literally show up and try not to screw it up here in the studio.
We try.
We try.
That's a key
We always
word.
get an A for effort.
We try.
Achievement, sometimes we, there's an effort and there's an achievement.
We got a big show coming up here at the end of the month.
We do.
I'm excited about that.
You talking about the Cougs First Business Network at Seattle?
Cougs First, yes.
Yeah, May 29th.
May 29th, we're going to have Cougs from all over the state, Coug business owners.
Yep.
If you haven't been to a Cougs First show, I'll tell you, I'm somebody who's worked in sales my entire career, and I hate networking functions
because they're awkward.
They're super awkward. There's nothing awkward about a Cougs First show.
No, because you're with family.
It's Cougs. Even if you don't know them.
Yeah, you're Coug. They're Coug. You got something to talk about.
Yes.
You got something to talk about.
It is a gas. And
It
Kelsey
is.
Knudsen has been doing a wonderful job with getting it all organized.
She is. We're going to
it.
be, you know what else I hear is going on at that show? I hear that there's going to be a podcast going on live down there.
Oh, we're going to be live streaming podcasting
the whole time.
from
We're going to be
there.
bringing some business owners on so they can get some plugs. So, hey, listen, if you're going to have a business down there, Cougs First Business Network, May 29th down in Seattle, and you want to hop on the podcast for a couple of minutes and put a plug in for your company, we would love to have you because at the end of the day, Coug-owned business, let's roll, man. Let's do this. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. And you're in charge of all the technical aspects of it. So,
No. Brandon will be there.
oh, Brandon. Oh, God.
Thank God.
Oh my God.
It's like-
that is like literally the best news I've heard all day.
Look, I know it's called Hurley Media Group, and I'm like the cobbler with terrible shoes. But it's because I don't do any of this stuff. I sell stuff. Other people do the stuff that are way better at this than I am. I just want to point that out.
Well,
This is like I know enough to get it done.
A good business owner will bring in the skill set necessary to make the business run.
1,000%.
That's true. That's a compliment to you. Hey, I want to tell you something. I got a little crimson and gray energy going with me because you know what I got to do this past weekend?
What?
I went to Pullman, and it happened to be graduation weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I didn't go over there because my kids got a couple years left over there, fortunately, because, all in good time. But, I'll be honest with you. It was first of all, the weather was fantastic. The kids could have not gotten a better weather for it. But, just that energy and that excitement and the sense of accomplishment. You have accomplished something here. You are a college graduate. Mm-hmm. And one of the messages that is going to resonate again with General Moore at the end of the show tonight, and this is something that my junior who's over there, for some reason, just like me, seems to run around with kids that are older than him. I don't know what it is, but I always ran around with guys that were a year or two old. So he had a bunch of buddies that were graduating already, and some of them were like, you got any advice for me? And I didn't want to tell him about the harsh realities of the real world, how bad that sucks. So I wanted to give him something more.
Go straight to law school.
Yeah,
Don't dilly-dally.
Don't go to law school either, okay? That's no fun either. But this is a message, and that's, come back.
Big time.
Come back to Pullman. Come back as frequently as you can. It's good for, not only is it good for WSU and for the Cougar Nation, but it's good for you individually. It's good for your soul. It's good for your energy. Don't you always feel a little bit, you go over to Pullman for a weekend, you have some fun over there, especially if we've had a game and we've won and stuff. Don't you just come back with a little extra pep in your step,
It's good for, Cassie and I met there.
Yeah.
So
you got that.
And I met Brandon there. So that's always fun to go back because you inevitably go down memory row and just start, do you remember that guy? That guy?
Which is awesome.
Or Brandon, remember that guy you told everybody he had a tail and everybody believed you kind of thing, So that's fun, but it's also fun, we both spend a ton of time, everybody on the collective, everybody we talk to on this show spends so much time kind of putting work into Coug Nation as a whole and whatever their facet is. And there are times, I can think of a certain week about a year ago where a quarterback left and then a coach left and then a bunch of 1890 Club members left. There are weeks like that where it is just like, kill me. You know what I mean? Like it is brutal. But when you get to go back with your kids and kind of see it from your kids' eyes and stuff like that, and like I say this all the time. Look, there's a lot of things that have changed about college football and a lot of things that I wish hadn't changed. But that core magic is absolutely still there.
That sense of family.
Yeah.
That sense of family.
Yeah.
Right?
So it's awesome. And actually, this is a pretty good segue to, I think our next guest is here.
I'm actually really excited about this one.
I am too. I don't know. You know, the one guy who should have his shot framed up really well, I can't tell if he does or not.
There's only one.
Greg, can you give me a thumbs up if you can see me, man? We're gonna keep moving for a second. We're gonna give him a second to.
That's fine. So listen, it was a great graduation ceremony. Now here's the other thing. I got over there with Junior, and I got to get out on Palouse Ridge, get my first rounds of golf in.
And you weren't sure how that was gonna go.
Well, I hadn't had a club in my hand since October, and so that's always an adventure when you go out on the court. And I'd been to the range like once, so I wasn't really primed for it. And so we went out, and Thursday night we teed off at like 4 o'clock. We just played 9 holes, and I birdied the first hole. I've never birdied number one at Palouse Ridge in my life, and I ended up shooting 39. So I'm 3 over par after 9, which for me is, I am absolutely torching the course. Okay, this is like,
and I'm sure you're being really humble for your kid.
Well,
too,
my kid's
right?
playing really well too,
Okay.
but I'm beating him on the card, all right. And so we quit after 9, and I said to him, I said, hey, and he's like, geez, Dad, that was really pretty impressive, And I was like, tomorrow will be an unadulterated disaster, I guarantee it.
And was it?
Total.
Okay.
For me.
Okay.
My kid went out there and shot 81. We played 18 on Friday, and he shot 81. So he's 9 over par, which, again, Palouse Ridge is not an easy course. He hadn't had a club in his hand since October either. But the best thing is, it was beautiful weather. I'm there with my kid. I'm in Pullman. We hit Sellas afterwards. I mean, this is that energy, that positive mojo you get by going back to the mothership.
1000%.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna check on Greg here. We're just
gonna drop him on and see what happens.
See what happens. Yeah.
This guy's a photojournalist.
Yeah. Greg, can you hear me? I think we might be looking at a ceiling right now. Is kind of what I'm thinking we're looking at.
Yeah, we could probably have our producer reach out to him.
Text him real quick because I think it's that thing where iPhones all of a sudden will pick up your computer camera and all of a sudden that becomes. Have you had that happen to you before?
I'm not an iPhone guy.
Oh. I hear him back there. I'm gonna have Cassie text him.
Yeah, I'm a Droid guy. Let's just get that out on the record now.
That doesn't shock me at all.
I'm a Droid guy.
You just march into your own beat, man.
I do charge to my own beat.
But here's, just talking about Coog Mojo, I've had a really fun opportunity lately. We've talked a little bit about it. Playfly came in to take.
Yeah, you've been excited about them.
It's been so much fun.
Yeah, you've been really excited about that.
So much fun. So there's nothing probably more nerdy than to nerd out over like how the MMR partner is doing at a school, but like honestly, and the Learfield deal was just dated. Like it didn't have much to do with
MMR
NIL.
multimedia rights.
Multimedia rights. Thank you. Yes.
Well, I mean, for everyone who's not a Murrow grad.
But like the deal that Learfield had, and when they signed it, it was a good deal.
Yeah, but then the world changes and the deal doesn't.
Changed, and then it was just like perverse incentives all over the place, right? So this team from Playfly came in and they kept a lot of people. Like they kept Casey, who's a great salesperson. They kept the radio crew, which is great, and those guys.
We love consistency in that department.
Consistency.
Right?
But and we got to have Lisa Johnson on, and I asked her to come on. She's like, I'm not a podcast person, but
we'll be the judge.
She has come on and just started selling, right? And there's two types of salespeople in media sales. There's like the I'm going to go find a client, and then there's like the account managers and stuff like that. And both are
leaders and managers.
Both are very valuable. An account manager is super valuable to grow a business with, but Lisa and I it's been fun. We've been just cold calling Seattle brands that haven't heard from the school
Carving
in
new
forever.
paths.
And what's fun is like, people can't wait to meet with us.
Yeah. So what's the excitement level when all of a sudden a company is now hearing from WSU for the first
They
time
get
and you're
jacked, man. Like, because here's the thing is like from just a math level, right? From just like a media math level, your Seattle teams require such a massive investment to even just get in the door that it's a non-starter for
a
even
lot of
some
companies
large
they just choke on the price tag. It's unapproachable.
Get away from me.
Yeah.
And with that price so inflated, it
What's the ROI on
the
that?
cost, the ROI, the cost per thousand, whatever you're looking at, never makes any sense. What's really cool is like when you look at like just the hours spent with teams in the Seattle market, like the Cougs are like neck and neck with the Kraken,
Okay.
and only, I mean, like you'd think
You're talking about as far as the numbers of
total viewership hours
Okay.
throughout the year.
Okay.
And that's factoring
in the Seattle market.
That's in the Seattle market. So
Okay.
that's factoring in basketball as well.
Okay.
Right? But like the average Coug game does better than the average Mariners game. There's just a lot more Mariners games.
That's true.
But what's really interesting is like you look at the price differential, and like the audience, like our audience compared to UW is only is just behind UW.
Right.
And our TV deal has a lot to do with that because we're on broadcast and they're on deep cable. So
Yep.
that's helpful.
And that's their problem.
So they're loving it because one, they're excited about it. I mean, everybody knows that Seattle is a Coug town, you know, and we haven't just rung the bell loud enough, in my opinion, over the past couple of years. And it's really fun because these brands are stoked about it. They're taking the meetings because all these marketing managers are Cougs.
Yeah.
Like they all went and studied
That's
at
right.
Murrow, and then they're working for these big brands now. It's been so much fun. And so like those have been just invigorating meetings to go
That's
to.
cool.
People just can't wait. So I'm excited because I know that Lisa's and her team are bringing in massive dollars that's going to help out the
Let me
athletics.
ask you this: is because of our TV deal being with CW, ESPN, but basically guaranteeing that the product's on in every time zone, does that create more opportunities to go to companies that maybe if you had more of a regional?
1,000%. Yes. Because like, you know, when you're selling, so the MMR multimedia rights covers in stadium and then like local or regional radio and then like coaches shows on TV stations and stuff like that. But, you know, if you look at like the biggest products that most teams have right now, it's the field sponsorship. And then this year they're rolling out that jersey patch sponsorship. Well, yes, those are technically local physical deals, but they're on television
exposure,
so
though,
much.
is-
Exactly.
yeah.
So like because of the CW deal, both of those products are way, way, way more attractive.
Yeah,
So
it
it's-
makes sense. There's a broader reach with it.
And you're building I mean, look, if you look at television and the football broadcast as that front door of the university, like we talk about, or the front porch of the university, like we talk about all the time. Yes, you might not be getting as many dollars as an ESPN deal or a Fox deal, or which ends up on Big Ten Network or SEC Network, like we've talked about before.
Or as you call it, deep cable.
Deep cable.
Yeah.
But you're getting so much more, and just if you just think about an advertising value for the
But
school.
see, you've also talked about these big media deals that we see out of the SEC and the Big Ten and stuff like that, and the sustainability or lack thereof that are in these deals, especially as the market changes, the industry changes, the money in versus the money out. These are deals that are going to pay them now, but how do they?
There was a great quote I saw online right before the show, and I just reposted it. It's this guy I follow, and he dives into the math, and he does a really good job of diving into the math. And he doesn't go as like alarmist as I do, but you know, he was just making the point that TV companies have a sports gambling product or problem in that they keep over betting on sports.
They do.
So, you know, first quarter numbers for Disney came out. And they haven't looked good in a long time.
No, Disney is not performing right now.
What's wild is like the initial Disney numbers looked okay. Like they were up like 4%, which nobody else was. But that's Disney with parks and all the other kind of stuff. When you pull back to linear sports, which ESPN is what that is, and a big chunk of that is that SEC and college football playoff deal, they were down when it came to profitability. I think it was like 1 to 2%. So it wasn't great. Their expenses around sports fees were up 30%. And they're going to continue to go up. Oh, no. It will be up 30% over the next 4 years or something like that. So it's like the math just doesn't math at all.
It doesn't pencil out at the end.
Which is like, if you own an NBA team or an NFL franchise, fine, you can operate at a loss for a long time and then just sell that team.
Sell
for
the
a
asset
massive
for
amount,
an
billions.
800% markup of where you bought it from. Exactly.
But when you're a publicly owned institution, you don't
answering to shareholders,
to taxpayer, you don't have that end game. You don't have that exit.
There's no long run.
There's
no long run in
fire.
that one, right?
Yeah.
There's no long run. Whereas, when you own the entity or something like that, there's a long game that you can play. There's no long game here when you're a shareholder.
Yes, exactly. And don't forget, this is SEC. So I am going to buy a ton of Disney stock after this podcast, because all Disney has to do to have their stock prices jack up through the roof is get their lawyers on a way to get out of that SEC deal. That's all it's going to take. They get that anchor out from around their neck, and I guarantee there's an out somewhere in there. That stock price goes through the roof. SEC is boned.
Yeah, the SEC, but that's their problem.
And that's their problem.
And
so it's like a light switch at this point. They're drowning in this deal, and all they have to do is
it's the one toxic asset that if they just I think
their NBA deal is pretty bad too. But it's that linear television, or if I'm Disney, just find a way to just unload ESPN kind of thing. So
just sell it off.
Yeah. So I don't know. So but that's one where it's like, we've been talking about this. It's unsustainable. It's unsustainable. It's unsustainable. I don't think we're going to make it through the summer. So that's my prediction right now.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You think it's gonna detonate by the time fall rolls around?
I think it's already detonated. I think that's
really?
The reason. I think that's the reason there's a new CEO at Disney that took the helm a lot earlier than he was supposed to. And it is like the glaring wart on that portfolio right now, because the parks are killing it. Disney Plus is killing it. Hulu's killing it. But those deals, that NBA, SEC, college football playoff, those are just toxic assets on their books. And I don't know, you're the lawyer in the room.
Well, yeah, I mean, there are clauses to get out of contracts. They have typically liquidated damages in there, which means you can get out of it, but you're paying X on the way out the door, and that X is painful.
Yeah.
But sometimes that X is less painful than sticking this deal out and hemorrhaging money over the course of God knows how many years are left on it.
If you want evidence that this is already in progress, go through ESPN's Twitter over the past couple weeks, because it has been an about face. For 2-3 years, all they would talk about is how the college football playoff needs to just be the SEC. That's all it was just like, oh, here comes Kirk Herbstreit, like he's a North Korean, propagandist, just pitching SEC left and right, left and right, left and right. If you look at some of the preseason polls that they're coming out with now, it's a lot of Big 10 schools, it's a lot of Big 12 schools, it's a lot of ACC schools.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, that SEC ain't so precious to ESPN any longer.
Here's why. The SEC was very effective when the only way you could pay players was under the table. Mm-hmm. Okay? Because the SEC invented that.
1,000%.
Okay? But now that it's all out on the open table and everyone's fair budget can come in, there are some very successful alumni and very successful alumni base out of the SEC. But not compared to the Big Ten. Because the alumni base that those Big Ten schools crank out and the success level of that alumni base.
And those oil prices are high right now, too. So,
I'm just, they got big hitters. And right now, the SEC is getting beat at their own game.
So there's two things there, and we're going to wrap it up because it looks like Greg's in the waiting room. And
Thank
he's got his
God.
camera. But two things there is one, it's a frenzied marketplace. Mm-hmm. So valuation on players doesn't make sense. It's just this wild, wild west where it's like, all right, how is that player worth $3.5 million a year, and some of these 3A, or not 3A, but 3-star players aren't at all, right? And they're going to put up the same kind of stats and things like that.
Oh yeah.
So it's wild. One last thing before we move on here. Mr. Nick Saban. Speaking of the SEC, Mr. Nick Saban, the biggest hypocrite in college football, who just loves to talk about how everything's changed now that everybody else can pay players and he can't alone. I just like to warn. I don't care what your political affiliation is. We're not going to get into politics.
No, we don't do that.
But
here.
Disney has been paying him a massive lobbying fee to basically pitch Trump on and Congress on what the next iteration of college sports should look like. And that man has no business in that conversation. You know who should lead the charge on that?
Who?
He's a Husky.
Oh, I don't like where we're going.
Chris Peterson. I think Chris Peterson's the
you
guy
know
who
what?
could lead college football.
Chris
the way it needs to
Peterson.
go.
Okay. Well, I don't really consider Chris Peterson. Chris Peterson is a hell of a. He's a damn good coach.
He's the one who
He's
should.
a damn good.
He's
coach.
the one who should lead. Anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I got moving on this.
No, that's
We're gonna
cool.
bring on.
I'm excited about this.
You want to intro him?
No, you do it, man.
Okay,
you
so
got this.
okay, I'm gonna paint a picture here. When the collective was just getting off the ground, we were barely allowed on campus, and like nobody in the athletic department wanted to talk to us because it was
We
like
were a clandestine operation.
Yes. There was one man who snuck us into Beasley on the court side to get some pictures and some footage for things.
Mm-hmm.
That was Mr. Greg Davis, and he's been at WSU. We're gonna forever. He's had a front row seat
To everything.
To everything.
This is gonna be so
He's
cool.
like a historian for the school. So let's bring him on now that his camera is working. Mr. Davis, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're doing
Welcome.
well.
Thanks so much for being here, Greg. I really appreciate it.
Sorry about that.
I'll tell you a quick golf story. I golfed with Greg Davis last year, and the dude got an eagle on 18. I think he checked up an 81 that day too. Man, you had a good round.
Greg, does Bill cheat when he golfs?
Bill Stevens?
No, Bill Kirk. Bill Stevens? I don't know. Does Bill Stevens cheat when he golfs? I don't know.
No, he does not. He does not.
I do not.
Okay, so Greg, for folks, it's funny because you are like the stalwart of WSU here, and you're the guy behind the camera, so some people might not recognize you. Tell us about your history at WSU and in Pullman.
Wow. So I went there. My daughter went there. My mom went there. My grandmother went there. One of my cousins went there. One of her kids went there. It's just, yeah, it was
All
always
at the same time?
No.
No, I'm joking.
No,
He's trying to
grandmother
be
was,
funny, Greg. He's not real good at it. Don't worry. Go on.
grandmother was there. It was Washington State College. No, I was always going to go to WSU. My dad was a pilot in the Air Force. I lived in Texas and Oklahoma for most of my early childhood, through ninth grade. And we used to come up to Tacoma on vacations every couple of years because she was born and raised in Tacoma. And even back then, I was already going to go to WSU. My dad went to Colorado State on a wrestling scholarship. He was a diehard Nebraska fan growing up in Omaha. We used to go to the Nebraska-Oklahoma game every year when we lived in Oklahoma. That included the 71 shootout, which was awesome. But I wasn't even going to go to Colorado State. It was always going to be WSU. And went there, graduated from the Carson College of Business. Obviously, I was not an IT guy because I was having issues with my camera earlier. But I went to Seattle, had a family, and hadn't been back in a while, and happened to play in a fundraising golf tournament at the Tacoma Country and Golf Club, which it is known as. And I was in the same group as Todd Thrasher, who worked for the CAF a long time ago.
Yeah.
And he is literally the guy that got me back involved.
Really?
Yeah, I had so much fun that day. I sat and had lunch with him and Michael Clark a couple times in downtown Seattle. Next thing I know, I had season tickets. First game back with season tickets after I hadn't been to a game in a while.
That's how it works, though, isn't it?
Oh, it is, completely. I was on the alumni side at about the 45-yard line. I'm walking down the aisle with my wife and my daughter, and I got goosebumps. Like, what were you thinking? Why did it take you so long to come back here? And, did that when they first came out with, on the photo side, when they first came out with the courtside hoop tickets,
Uh-huh.
they didn't have them for a long time. I got 4 the first year they were available, because I figured if I didn't do it then, I'd never be able to get them because they'd be sold out all the time. And I had a camera because my daughter played volleyball and basketball, all through school, and learned early on that the really cheap cameras are too dark or too blurry when you're in high school and junior high school gyms. So started getting better gear. And first couple of pictures I took that got published on sites were when I was sitting in my hoop seats back in the Dick Bennett era of men's hoops.
Good days.
Oh yeah. And then ended up talking with WSU, and they asked if I wanted to come just shoot for them, and I've been doing that ever since.
That is so cool.
So since you started doing that, how many home games have you actually not been at?
That's a great question.
That is a great question. I might not even know the answer. I would say none, but I'm sure
that's
a couple.
Wow.
So let's talk about a game that you almost, you had a good reason not to go to. There's a story behind it, one of the pictures here, and I want to pull up this picture. And I was hoping you could tell the story behind this picture. If
Sure.
You don't mind.
You bet.
All right, I'm going to test. Okay, hold on. This looks a little weird here. So hold on. Now, you know what? Just go with me here. There you go. All right, you see the picture we're looking at, right?
Yep.
Okay. Now, that's you to the left of the
Correct.
picture there.
Not
You did
taking any
not take this
pictures.
picture.
Working hard.
Yeah, walk me through. Give a little context. Walk me through that day.
Yeah, this game is super personal to me. It really describes what it's like to be a Coug. This story might take a while.
That's all right.
So this was a night game, Boise State, 2017. I came over super early. I lived on the west side back then. I came over super early. I think I got to campus around 9:30 in the morning. I really liked going over the pass when there was no traffic, and it was,
Me too.
it's early September. I like that drive. So I got to campus, pulled into the library parking garage, which is where I always park. There is no cell service whatsoever in the library parking garage, or there wasn't back then.
There still isn't. Yeah.
Yeah. I walk out onto Rogers Field, the practice field, and I look down. I say, I have a message from my dad. My dad rarely calls that early in the morning. So I sat down on one of the blocking dummies, tackling dummies on the practice field, listened to the message. It was my dad calling to let me know that my mom had passed away that morning. Now, she had dementia for a while. And my dad and I've been trying to tell my dad that, he was a pilot in the Air Force. He was bound and determined to take care of my mom. But I said, Dad, you're aging right before my eyes. He was always in really good shape. But anyways, he had called me earlier that week and said, hey, I've got 2 visits next week in Bellingham to go look at places to take your mom to, so that, they can help with taking care of her. And so he tells me that she passed away. Every morning when he would get up, she would get up, she would come in and sit on the couch in their family room and immediately fall back to sleep, take a nap. He would make her breakfast. And that morning, she didn't wake back up. He was having a hard time telling me. I said, hey, I'm going back. I'm getting into my car. I'm coming straight home to Bellingham. And he said, no, you are not. Your mom would not want that. Mom was a diehard Coug. She went to school there for a couple years. And actually, funny story with that too. She went there for 2 years, went to work at a bank, Pretty sure my granddad got her the job, earned enough money to go to Europe with a friend of hers for 6 months. I think they probably ran out of money. They came back. She went back to work at the bank, got enough money to go to Hawaii, went there, met my dad, who was stationed there. But anyway, this goes back a long time ago when she would have a hard time getting radio broadcasts in the house. So she would go out. She figured out that if she went out into the driveway, she could listen to Cougar football games on the radio in the car. She would do that. That is how much she loved the Cougs. Like I said, she had dementia, but when I would go visit, I'd sit down next to her on the couch, and she would look at me and she would go, "Go Cougs," and then punch me in the shoulder.
That's awesome.
And my dad and I would just laugh, and she always knew who everybody was. But it was time. Her quality of life wasn't great. She went to sleep and just didn't wake back up. And so Dad goes, "Look, we can't do anything until Monday. Come on Monday." I'm like, "No, I'll come tomorrow." Which is probably right. Mom wouldn't want me to not be at the game. So I went to the game, and of course we were just getting killed.
Oh, we were getting pounded. We were horrible.
We were.
Let me ask you this question real quick. How many people, by the time the game starts, how many people have you communicated to that, you've had this terrible personal loss?
So when I got done talking to my dad, like I said, super early for a night game, I walked into Bowler. I talked to Bill Stevens, and I talked to Mike Marlowe. And I told him, I said, "Look, I mean, if you look at me and I look weird, or I look all kind of discombobulated, here's what's going on." Then I spent the next 3 hours in the conference room in Bowler that's just down the hallway from Bill's office, talking to all my cousins and my daughter, and like anybody that I needed to communicate with. And like I said, there was a lot of family tradition at WSU to a person. Everybody's like, "No, you have to stay and go to the game and then come back." So anyway, we're getting killed.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden stuff starts to change. So that picture that you popped up, that's Peyton Pallure on his interception return. It was a pick six. Not sure why the quarterback threw an underhanded ball directly to Peyton, but still thankful that
Folks
he did.
and boys, you're still wondering that one, but that got the tide turning.
Exactly. And by the way, I'm not shooting because I have a 400 millimeter lens on that camera body. And
nothing you can really do that close, huh?
Yeah, I lost sight of other than Peyton's like eyeballs at about the 15. So anyway, we start coming back. Then we punt. It bounces off the helmet of one of their guys. We recover. We're starting this comeback. I'm down in the crim zone, in the end zone, and Bill Stevens walks past me, and he looks at me, and he gives me this kind of sly grin, like, "Yeah, we're coming." And I looked at him and I go, if we come back and win this game, I'm literally going to have a breakdown because the whole game I'm like, not today. It can't be like this today. Mom's up there. I know mom's watching from in heaven. Can't be like that. So anyway, we come back. We win the game in triple overtime. When Jamal Morrow went over the pylon, I did get the picture, but I had tears coming down the side of my face. Just because it was for mom. It was for my mom.
Yeah.
And back then, we used to always do position coach and player picks after big wins. Home, road, didn't matter. So Coach Wilson comes up to me. Everybody piled onto the field. There's just bodies everywhere. Coach Wilson goes, "We can't do this right now. We're going to go in. We'll come back out." I'm like, "Okay. We'll get it after they clear the field." So they come back out, and remember specifically Peyton and Isaac Dotson coming up, when they came back out for the linebacker group. Both of them kind of gave me a bear hug and just said, "Hey, that one was for your mom." So Coach Wilson had obviously talked to him. Went to the post-game press conference, came back out onto the field after everything was done and everybody was gone. Literally walked out to the 50-yard line and was saying something to Mom, and got a text from Mike Marlowe. And it said something to the effect, you can see it down there in the right-hand corner. Your mom had something to do with that. And I truly believe that she did, because she loves the Cougs. So
I love that story.
I told you.
I love that story. Bill gave me a warning. He's like, you're going to probably cry.
Well, that's because when we were on the phone, he told me a story a couple days ago. We were BSing on the phone, and I was welling up, and I'm just glad it wasn't a Zoom call. So, but no, because here's what I love about that story is we talk about how being a Coug is a human experience, and it's based on human relationships, right? And here is a person who's going through a really tough time who, shares that moment with people in that Cougar family and how they responded and how they all rallied. And, they were all emotionally affected by what Greg himself had to go through. And that's one of the great things about being Coug is that connectivity that we have with each other.
Well, and then I'll take it, something we haven't mentioned yet is tell us about your coworker there, Greg.
Go on, my daughter?
Yes. So, you get the opportunity. To work with your daughter.
You mean the really good photographer? Yeah, no.
I mean that's magical in and of itself too.
What? No, it is. And when you're a guy, and you have a daughter, you're like, gosh, I hope we have something in common. We'll have this bond, and it'll be awesome. And she's literally just like me. She loves sports. She played sports. She went to WSU. And we have had so many cool experiences together shooting.
I can only imagine.
WSU athletics. I mean, remember standing on the field in 2013 when we played Auburn, and the eagle came down. You know how the eagle comes down? And
yeah.
Going,
they got it going on at Auburn. That's a good one.
We both looked at each other and we both had goosebumps.
Yeah.
We've seen so many cool things. Last year, Ole Miss was awesome. It's
the thing that keeps running through my head right now is what you said earlier, which was, when you went back for that time that kind of got you hooked back in, you hadn't been back forever.
He never left.
Then he never left.
Exactly. I watched.
I think that's.
But I wasn't there.
There you go.
Yeah, I wasn't there, but I watched everything and I followed the Cougs the whole time. But no, actually being there, being on campus, I'm just like, holy cow, what, dude? Whoa.
Well, it's so cool because, I know my family experienced that. We went a lot back to Pullman when, my oldest son was a baby, and then it just got hard. Right, it just got tough.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, getting the kids in. So we just didn't go back that much. We still went back a couple times a year, but not that much. And then it was the same thing. We got we got hooked in with the collective. It was just like all hands on deck, and then it doesn't stop.
Yeah, now it doesn't feel right if there's a home game and you're not there.
Yeah, and so
it's just got to be there.
I think if somebody's watching and they love the Cougs, they got fond memories, but they just haven't been back forever.
Well, that's the theme tonight, isn't it? Go home.
The ticket for admission is not high.
No, man.
To just get
y'all gotta
right
go
back
home.
into this madness.
You all gotta go home.
Yeah.
That's the message tonight.
Yep.
It's but that's a beautiful story, and thank you so much for sharing.
You mind if I ask him some rapid fire stuff here?
I kind of want to hear this.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So here we go. This is gonna be good. Because listen, I have had the pleasure of hanging out with Greg on a personal level several times. We've golfed together. He is a fantastic mentor to my son, who's down there on the sideline working with him. My son just thinks the world of Greg. And this guy is a hell of a storyteller, and he's got a lot of good stories. So here we go. Greg, question number 1. The nicest Coug you ever met?
Nicest?
Yeah, just absolute prince of a human being, princess of a human being, whoever it was.
Himself?
And, Greg Davis excluded. Seriously, who's just? I know it's a long list and it's going to be hard to pick from. Maybe mention a couple, but who are just some of the most genuinely wonderful human beings you've gotten to meet as part of being part of the Cougar family?
So I'm going to give you two. And actually, you know what I do? I am the luckiest person on the face of the earth to do what I do with Washington State Athletics as kind of a side gig. It's literally the balance in my life from corporate life. But it's the people that I get to meet players, families, coaches, former players. You know, it's the best part. So I'll give you two.
All right.
For two different reasons.
Great.
Number one, Jack Thompson. When I first met Jack Thompson, I'm just like, holy cow, I'm meeting Jack Thompson. This is just like the coolest thing ever. And he's just the nicest person on the planet. He really is. And the other person who was the nicest, happiest person I had ever seen. I mean, I didn't see him tons. I saw him at practice, saw him at games. It was Tyler Helinski. I never saw him not smile. I really did. And that's why I said it's for two different reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something about those people with big smiles. Tyler had that. Jack has a great smile. Jack has a fantastic smile. So, all right. Craziest Coug you ever met. Just a complete nut job.
You got to talk about the Olympics of crazy.
Well, you got to throw Coach Leach in there. Not that he's a nut job. He just told such great stories. And again, super fortunate. I mean, my daughter and I got to spend a couple of post games after, Pac-12 after dark at Coach Leach's house, standing around his old kitchen, the island in his kitchen, having Crown Royal. Coach loved Crown Royal. I think it was peach. Anyway, great storyteller. Rarely talked about football, but just I thought the world of Coach Leach. He is the smartest guy that I have ever been around, and he knew a lot about everything. Mm-hmm. He was talking about some old skirmish, back in 1550 that I'd never even heard of, and he would rattle off, stuff like, I'm assuming he was, it was all facts.
No, he would have been a good teammate in Trivial Pursuit. Okay, here's one for you. The most underappreciated Coug is...
Wow.
Oh, wait, is that on the field, off the field?
It's whatever. It could be somebody in the athletic department. It could be somebody in the administration. It could be a player, male, female, whatever. Just someone that doesn't get as much publicity as maybe they should when you take a look at the mark they left at WSU.
Bill Stevens. Bill Stevens.
I like that one.
Only because
tell us a little bit more about Bill Stevens. For those who don't know who he is, tell us all about Bill Stevens.
He's the sports information director at WSU. Has been since, I think since 2005, maybe. Yeah. He took over for Rod Commons, who was there for a really long time.
Forever,
who took over
right?
For Dick Fry, who was there for a really long time. No, I saw up close and personal how hard Bill Stevens works. All hours. Just it's athletics as an occupation. It's kind of relentless.
Yeah,
it's sports and it's awesome, but he is revered by other schools.
Big time.
He is.
IDs.
He is.
I hear more like when people, you're involved with the Coug stuff. Do you know Bill? Do you know Bill Stevens? And like I hear that from a ton of people in the TV industry, and they can't wait to talk about Bill.
Yeah.
So
he is a great guy.
And it's a universal thing. It's not like what's your, like when they say, do you know Bill Kirk? I go, why?
Then you got to ask them, like, why do you know?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
probably a better question. How the hell
You don't
do you know
get,
that?
you don't
how do
get
you
that
know
with
that
Bill
guy?
Stevens.
Yeah,
You know where the
exactly.
conversation's going.
All right, listen. Here's one for you, Greg. Your second favorite stadium or campus to be on is where?
That's a really good one. And
Thank
and
you.
we're in kind of flux now because the old Pac-12
Yeah.
blew up. And if it would have been the old Pac-12, I would have said Stanford,
Okay.
just because it's a gorgeous campus.
It is. And the fans aren't too vicious down there when they show
No,
up.
there's like 5 of them.
Right, exactly.
I remember the first time I went down there, walking around kind of where the stadium is. I don't know if you've ever been there, but
Oh, yeah.
their aquatic center is really close to the stadium.
It's
So I'm
really
walking-
nice, too.
Yeah, it is. I'm walking by looking in there, and they've got this whole Olympic, diving set up there with a high dive and springboard and all this. And they're practicing. They're having a practice. And I'm looking at their coach, who is in a chaise lounge chair with a coffee, barking at people up on the platform while he's laying in 75-degree, clear blue sky weather at this gorgeous facility. I'm just like, wow, that guy has the best job on the planet.
Yeah.
I got a question.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
So a lot of people don't know this about you, and it's one of my favorite things. It's one of the most consistent fundraisers we do at these collective events. Is Greg goes and prints off his favorite pictures of Cougs, and he's got every Coug in his library. A lot of times he's the one who hunts down the players to get the autograph on it, and then we auction them off at happy hours and at events.
We
and
have
stuff
generated
like that.
thousands and thousands of dollars.
That's what
through
I wanted
Greg's.
to just guess. I have no idea. Greg, do you have any idea? Like, how much is it? Have we reached 100,000 in his pictures? I don't know. It's because it's a consistent moneymaker for us.
I just like being able to help. Anything I can do
Well,
to
we
help,
love it.
help
That
push the
mentality
brand
right there.
Yeah, push the brand, help the Cougs. I love Washington State. I love Washington State athletics, and I will.
And I gotta say,
whatever
like,
I
this is
can.
this is what we talk about all the time. Is like, what I love about your interactions with the collective and the Cougs in general. It's okay. Here's a skill set that I have. How can it be of benefit? Right. So
What do you always say? Time, talent, or
treasure. Yeah.
treasure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just and you can turn your time and talent into real treasure for the school. It's a massive win. And I think that's, if you're watching again and you're going like, oh, I don't have the big checks to give, or this is a rough year or whatever, like, you have a skill set.
Right.
And
Or you got some time you want to volunteer and help the cause.
and then-
Absolutely.
but I'd also say, like, does any of that time you spent going to get pictures and getting the I bet none of that feels like work to you though.
No, not even close.
Yeah.
The last one I recall doing was Abe Lucas, Abraham Lucas. We printed 3 different shots. I got to talk to Abe like 4 different times. Just, hey, I got some more. Yeah, like, all right, no problem. Just, I mean, again, the interaction with Cougs.
That's right. Cougs helping Cougs, man.
It is. It really is.
All right, I got a couple of quick ones here. All right, here we go. All right, football. We'll talk football for a second. The best uniform combination is, in Greg Davis's opinion,
I love the icy whites.
okay,
They
icy
are
whites.
cool.
All right, I like it.
I really do.
Okay,
Now, from a
Last
photographer standpoint, for unis,
yeah.
for shots, if it's a night game and we were wearing anthracite, it'd be like going, I like the anthracite. But at night,
Gotcha.
a little tougher.
Okay. I imagine that they probably are not consulting with you when they're making
They
the
are not.
uniform
They should,
selection
though.
for that week.
No, and they
Are
should
they?
not. No, then they should not.
All right. All right. Final question for you, Greg Davis, before I turn it back over to Brian. But we're about to build the Mount Rushmore of Cougs.
Ooh, okay.
Who's on it?
Wow. Well, you got to put John Olerud on there.
Okay. Hard to
Any
argue.
guy that was the college player of the year, hitting like 480.
Yep.
With
he raked it.
20-something bombs. Oh,
15-0 as a pitcher that year too.
Yeah, with an ERA of like sub-2.
Yeah. It's one of the greatest college baseball seasons in the history of the game.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Okay, so
yeah,
we got
gotta have Ole on there.
How many people are on Mount Rushmore?
4.
Okay.
Oh, that's it? Because I was going to go
add more. It's your Mount Rushmore.
I was going to talk about Joshua Anderson, track guy, football wide receiver, who was the 400 intermediate hurdle champion in the NCAA 3 out of 4 years. Probably could have made the Olympic team.
What if we're going to go with track guys? What about Henry Rono?
Yeah, he was pretty good.
I mean, he's got Olympic gold medals, if I remember correctly.
I still remember. So that was like back in my era. I would see him at the Coug, eating French fries, drinking a beer.
Sure.
That's how that
got
works.
Got a 10K to run tomorrow, so, got a carb load. Come on.
Oh, gosh, you got to have.
So we got Olerud. Who else do you think?
Man, there's so many quarterbacks to pick from. And you got basketball. You got Klay Thompson for basketball.
Okay.
I mean, he carved out a pretty nice NBA career.
Yeah, he's pretty legit. No doubt about that.
Okay, I just want to remind you, you got one left, and you just
he's got 2 left because I got Olerud and Thompson.
Oh, okay,
Klay Thompson.
I thought we had the track guy on there too.
Well,
we've got lots of.
Joshua Anderson was one of the best athletes to ever come through the
I'm
university.
Just trying to
He's
protect
right about
him.
that.
He's going to be on campus. He's going to see some of these guys, and it's going to be why
was
I
no
not on
insult
there?
to the people who aren't on Mount Rushmore. There's plenty of presidents that ain't on the real Mount Rushmore.
I'm just saying, I know the guys who are in contention, a lot of them, and they are what I'd call competitive people.
They are all.
Absolutely.
That's right. This is the world according to Greg Davis.
100%. I mean, you got to go with a number 1 pick in the NFL draft, right?
Yeah. Okay, so we got Bledsoe there. All right, so we got Olerud, Thompson, Bledsoe. It's a pretty legit list, honestly. What are you thinking for your 4th one?
This is pressure.
So, okay, this is what I would do.
Okay.
I would buy more land and make mountains.
You'd contract with 2 sculptors.
I would get an army.
You'd have that double-sided Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, you caught me off guard.
Well, I'll tell you what, because I feel like we're going to have him on at least a couple more times.
We'll bring him back for his. He can actually tell us who's made it to the Greg Davis Mount Rushmore of Cougs.
Yes.
I listen. Olerud, Thompson, Bledsoe, pretty solid list to begin with.
Yeah, and Greg, we can literally talk to you for hours.
You'd probably throw a Dolph Lundgren on there.
So we'll absolutely have to have you back. But Greg, thank you so much for joining us.
Dude, you're the
man.
best.
You are the man, and just thank you for everything you do for the Cougs.
Go Cougs.
Go Cougs.
Go Cougs. Hey, and by the way, I could have listened to you guys talk. You didn't even need to go to me. I was listening to you guys talk. I'm like, wow, I love this. This is good stuff.
Well, we appreciate that. Sometimes we actually come together and put on a show. Other times it's an unadulterated disaster. But it's always an adventure, Greg, and that's the best part.
I can tell you, statistically, we stopped losing viewers when Greg got on.
That's because we shut up.
Yeah. Greg, thank you so much, man. Have a good night.
No problem. You guys too. Go Cougs.
Go Cougs.
How
good is that?
Every time I sit down with the guy, he's got a story like that.
Oh, he's got a ton of them.
And he's a great storyteller, too.
He is.
And I think that's a Coug thing.
You know, we do have, I will say on our board even, we have some very good storytellers.
Oh, I know. I've seen the minutes.
Some remarkably good storytellers. Now, how much of those stories are true, that remains to be seen. But some amazing stories.
I've watched the agenda just go right out the window because it's a lot of yes ands, you know.
Yes. Yes. Should we set up the general?
I think we should set up the general.
So, as I mentioned earlier, and this is great that it kind of we managed to accidentally back into a theme tonight. And the theme, of course, is go home.
Go home.
Go home. Go back to Pullman whenever you can. Get back there. And again, I had a little bit of that energy because I was over there for graduation weekend, and I reached out to the general, and sometimes we discuss what the message might be about. And so I said, hey, can you give a message and inspiration for Cougs to occasionally, go back home? And with that, here's the message from General Kirby Moore.
To Cougar Nation, this past weekend, beneath the brilliant skies and rolling wheat fields of the Palouse, another generation of Cougs walked across that stage for the final time as students of Washington State University. And though diplomas were handed out and tassels turned, something far greater was carried away from Pullman that day. A home. To the graduates of Washington State, General Moore wishes you congratulations not merely for surviving lectures, exams, and sleepless nights, but for becoming part of something that will stay with you long after the last boxes are packed and the drive out of town begins. For one day, perhaps sooner than you realize, you will find yourself missing this place in ways difficult to explain to those who have never stood among us. You will miss the sight of snow falling quietly over campus. You will miss late nights with friends that somehow turned into lifelong memories. You will miss the smell of fall Saturdays and hearing the fight song echo through Martin Stadium. You will miss the feeling of belonging to a little town in eastern Washington that somehow became part of your identity forever. And that is because Pullman does not simply educate people. It changes them. Many of you arrived uncertain of who you were meant to become. Yet somewhere between the long winters, the victories, the heartbreaks, the classrooms, the friendships, and the endless crimson sunsets over the Palouse, you became family. So as you leave these grounds and march toward careers, marriages, children, triumphs, and hardships still waiting beyond the horizon, remember this. No matter how far you travel, no matter how many years pass, no matter where life plants your boots, you will always have a home in Pullman. You will always be welcomed back here. Because being a Coug was never just 4 years, it is forever. Sincerely, General Kirby Moore.
I like that. That's good.
It was a good one.
When did you write that?
Dude, we have been over this so many times. I mean, you can bring a Bible out here, I'll swear on the damn thing. I am not General Kirby Moore.
No, I know you're not.
I'm not.
You looked up to the left when you said that. That's a tell of a lie, or accessing the creative part of your brain when you're doing that. Learned that in the
Dude, I've shown you the exchange with the general on X about how I communicate. Do you think I'm communicating with myself through a burner X account or something just to cover my tracks? Seriously?
I don't think you've told me you've shown me, but you haven't actually shown me.
Dude, we got to show it right here on the record, or do you want to see it after the show? I will show you because I do. Like I say, I think I know what time zone the general lives in, but that's about it.
Okay. Well,
it ain't this time zone.
This was a fantastic show.
Yes, let's remind everyone that May 29th, we're going to be at the Cougs First Business Show. Beautiful downtown Seattle. By the way, a fireworks night at T-Mobile Park that night, too.
That's going to be fun.
So, and there's a big deck up there. So I think we get a fireworks show at the end of it. And depending on how tuned up a bunch of Cougs get, we may get other kind of fireworks show,
exactly.
too. So you never did that. Remind yourself that you can support your Cougs 12 ounces at a time by picking up an Old Crimson Lager, available now at Costco.
In the Tri-Cities.
Yes. And, of course, Fred Meyer statewide.
And, guys, buy up that stock in Costco. If those Costcos do well, they'll put it in all the other Costcos.
That's true.
Yeah.
Blow it out right now. They see it sell out. It'll start showing
then
up
you don't
everywhere.
have to watch this show anymore. The money will just come flowing in.
They will. They will send us out to pasture at that point.
Actually, if that many Old Crimsons are being sold, people might actually enjoy the show. So
it's true. Have a few more before next week's podcast. Now, if you're starting your day off, remember to hit your Old Crimson coffee. All of that is available at the Old Crimson store, which is linked up down below. Pullman Vintage Market. Hey, I saw them. They had some cool stuff this past weekend. So remember, anytime you're doing business with Pullman Vintage Market, a small portion of the proceeds are going back directly to Cougar Collective.
All you old heads out there,
Old heads.
It's the stuff we wore, and now they're paying top dollar for that. So
mature heads. Little
you
salt.
Can call me old.
Little salt to go with that
Don't
pepper.
Call me mature.
A little salt to go with that pepper. You know what I mean? It's a good show. We didn't screw it up.
Well, no, I was pretty stressed coming in because I was working right up until this, so I was trying to get all the assets.
We never got this working.
TV didn't get working. There was a
Good guess, though.
Great guest. The guests saved the show. Actually, you and the guests saved the show. And I am going to. I got to go clip that story Greg told about his mom, because that is just.
How good was that?
And he's such a good storyteller too.
So that's like real. That's like real human story there. I love that stuff. Even though it was a sad story, it's a powerful story.
It was a happy story.
It is. It is too.
Like,
you know.
So.
Yeah.
Anyway,
good show, man.
Great show.
We're back next week.
We're back next week. We got more great guests.
Remember, if you're not a member of the 1890 Club, here's your chance to do it. So get on in there. There's a link in the description box to do that. Go Cougs.
Go Cougs.
Have a good night.
We're out.
Who do you want to buy what? Who do you want to vote how? Who do you want ruining a family gathering defending you? Look, as long as it's not evil, Hurley Media Group will help you persuade whoever you want to do pretty much whatever you want. Hurley Media Group engineers video ads that cut through the noise, then we target your customer, your voter, or your future mother-in-law, your dog walker, whoever, wherever they scroll, wherever they stream, and wherever they watch. Hurley Media Group, totally not evil, targeted video.
As a mind strength coach, people ask me all the time, how do you get motivated? How do you push through a tough morning? What's your morning routine? And it's simple. 2 words. Old Crimson Legendary Brew, powered by Thomas Hammer.
That's 9 words.
If you let it be. Then I get this one. Coach, what if I'm still not motivated? Simple. Drink more coffee.
From across the state to the hills of the Palouse, Old Crimson forges ahead, undeterred, underestimated. Created by Cougs for Cougs. Old Crimson, when the sports world evolves at a pace like never before. You may be asking, how do we help our teams in these uncharted times? It's simple. Drink more beer. Old Crimson Legendary Lager. Proceeds benefit Cougar Collective. Do your part.
If you can't be in Pullman, the next best place to be is the Marco Polo Bar and Grill. Sink your teeth into our world-famous pressure-cooked chicken. Crispy on the outside, juicy on the inside, and seasoned to perfection. Known for our 15 big screens, 100% dedicated to Cougar athletics on game day. At Marco Polo, you can catch every game and soak in the crimson and gray vibes every night of the week. We're creating an experience that will make you feel like you're on the Palouse. Marco Polo Bar and Grill. Go Cougs!